Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. I'm especially thrilled to be hosting this webinar for all of you today, as I would be introducing Zoho People's all new onboarding module. Please note that you will be in the listen only mode. If you have any questions, you can use the question or chat window to post your questions. Annie, our product expert, will be there to answer them right away. The onboarding process for any organization is like the first or the best impression that they create for the new hire, isn't it? In that sense, it is one of the most crucial HR functions that HR professionals need to facilitate and provide a seamless experience for the new hire. A good and seamless onboarding program holds many benefits for not only the employees but the organization as a whole. So, to illustrate this point, let me walk you through some important statistics. According to the Society for Human Resource Management, companies with a successful onboarding program had a 69% better retention rate. So, this means that 69% of the employees were likely to stay in the organization for at least 3 years or even more. Let's look at the next one. This finding states that 50% of new hires who have undergone a successful onboarding program showed higher productivity rates. And the final one, an equally important one, is that 54% of employees reported higher engagement levels as a result of a successful onboarding program. So, all these important statistics resonate the fact that an onboarding process is surely a necessity. Having said that, however, HR professionals even today struggle with having a smooth onboarding process simply because there are many manual processes along the way. So, an automated onboarding process is surely the need of the hour. And that is where Zoho People's onboarding module comes to the rescue. It's an automated, simple, and easy to use, comes with pre-designed tabs that's surely going to reduce the work for the HR professionals and provide a seamless experience for the employees. So, before we go into detail, let's look at today's agenda. I'll first explain what candidate onboarding is in Zoho People. We'll then understand what employee onboarding is in Zoho People. I'll then take you through a demo of candidate onboarding as well as the candidate's view. We'll then have a demo of the employee onboarding, followed by the employee's view of the same. So let's take a look at the onboarding processes that are available in Zoho People. So the first one is candidate onboarding. So this process typically starts once you have sourced your candidates from various sources and now you'd like to shortlist and then transition them into employees. So this stage is commonly also called the pre-onboarding stage in many employees. So as I said, this will focus on a lot of the pre-onboarding paperwork as part of the candidate onboarding. So the overall focus would be a smooth transition from a candidate to an employee. And with a successful candidate onboarding program, that will surely help to remove the first stage jitters that a new hire would likely to face. Connected to that is the next important process, which is the employee onboarding process. So in Zoho People, the focus is to nurture the first experience, make it a positive one. So how do we go about that? A lot of the paperwork is completed online, therefore reducing a lot of work from the employee's hands. Expectations and goals are set right from day one, so the employee has a clear idea of what is expected out of them. The employee also gets a glimpse of their team, so they are introduced to their team and they have an understanding of who they will be working with. So overall, a successful employee onboarding process is going to give clarity and direction for the employee from the very first day. So these are the onboarding processes in Zoho People. We'll now take each one of them in detail. We will first begin with the candidate onboarding process. So let's look at the basic steps to set up candidate onboarding in Zoho People. So first we will create the candidate portal. So this portal is the space where the candidate will log in and complete the candidate onboarding process. We'll then customize the candidate onboarding flow. So this flow refers to the various steps, the various pages or tabs that the candidate would go through and complete in order to complete the entire process. We'll then see how to add candidates to the candidate portal and finally trigger the onboarding process for candidates. So let's look at the first step now. So this is the first screen that you will see under the onboarding module under settings candidate onboarding. So here is where you will need to give a portal name for your candidate portal. So make sure you give an appropriate name here and have it saved. Now let's move on to the product and see how to set up candidate onboarding. So under onboarding and settings, go to candidate onboarding. The name that you give for the portal will automatically be reflected here. The portal link is available right here. As you can see, a flow gets automatically created. You can change the name as you choose by using the edit option. So we'll now look at the various tabs that are available in the candidate onboarding flow. So I'll click customize and now we'll walk through the various tabs that are available for the candidate onboarding flow. So here you can edit all of these tabs and even the page descriptions that are a part of it. So the welcome aboard is the first screen. So here you can embed relevant videos that give a glimpse of the organization, give an idea to the candidate of what to expect from this company. The profile space is where basic professional and personal information that you would need from your candidate at this stage will be collected. The form space is another important one where you will add forms through which you will collect important details from the candidate. So it could be a background verification form, for instance, which will be a very valuable form at this stage. You could embed other forms like a device registration form or any other form as per your company's need. The checklist tab is especially useful for the HR who is facilitating this entire process. So here you can add or tag checklists. So these checklists are going to help the HR to make sure they have completed a set of to-do items. So here, as you can see, there is a checklist called proofs to submit. So using this, the HR will be able to collect all the proofs from the candidate. The documents and policies space is a twofold one. So under documents to be read, you can add all company policies that you feel your candidate should be aware of prior to joining the organization. And under the documents to be accepted space, you can add the final level offer letters or any such similar documents. And here you can, the candidate will be able to see and simply accept or decline. You must create mail merge templates for the candidate form in order for them to appear here. So now we looked at the various tabs that are available in the candidate onboarding flow. We now look at how to add candidates. So go to candidate under the onboarding module. So click add. Choose candidate if you want to add a single candidate and choose multiple candidates if you want to add more than one candidate. So I'm going to show you how to add a single candidate. It's very simple. So you would give the first and last name given their email ID. And you can either trigger the onboarding process, the final step, which we looked at earlier, right here, or you can add the candidate and then trigger the onboarding process from the candidate space. So I'm going to trigger the onboarding process right from this space and I click add. So the invitation is now sent to the candidate. We'll now have a look at the candidate's view of the entire process. So this mail gets triggered to the candidate once trigger onboarding is enabled. So they will be welcomed from the organization and then they will click this link and get redirected to the portal. Create a password right here. And so this is the first welcome screen for the candidate. The videos that are embedded will be viewable to the candidate. And so they will click let's get started and then they will be able to navigate through all of these tabs, and as they complete each of them their progress will increase, and in the final step each of these tick marks will get highlighted as they complete each tab, and when they click complete onboarding they would have completed the candidate onboarding process. We'll go back to the product now and take a look at where we can check the progress of the candidate onboarding process. So for that, let's go to reports, go to candidates, and here we can see the candidates whose process is in progress. To have a detailed view, you can click on the candidate status and have a detailed view like this. Here you can see all the candidates who have successfully completed the onboarding process. So once a candidate has successfully completed the process, they can be converted to a user or an employee profile right from the onboarding module. So I'll show you how to do that. So go to candidate once again and click the candidates who have completed the process and click convert to employee. You can choose either users or employee profiles. I'm going to click users. So here the candidate fields will be mapped with the employee fields. So you can choose the relevant ones and convert the candidate to the user. So now we have covered setting up the candidate onboarding process. We'll now move on to look at our next important process, which is the employee onboarding process. So what are the basic steps to set up employee onboarding in Zoho People? First is to customize the employee onboarding flows based on the target set of employees. So you could have separate onboarding flows and experiences created for, let's say, senior level executives or junior entrants into your organization and many more such flows. And the final step is, of course, to trigger the onboarding process for employees. We'll now once again go back to the product and see how to set up the employee onboarding process. So let's go to employee onboarding under settings. As you can see, a flow once again gets automatically created. You can, however, edit this. You can change the flow's name, select the applicable locations, choose whom this is applicable for by role or designation, and even give an expiry date for the flow. So let's say you would like this process to be completed within 2 weeks from the date of joining. That is possible by giving this expiry date. So you can click add new flow to create many more such flows based on your target set of employees. So now let's take a look at the various tabs that are available for you to use in the employee onboarding flow. So I'm going to click customize, and now let's go through the various tabs here. So the welcome aboard space for the employee will look this way. So here we can embed more specific videos welcoming the employee, giving them, creating a sense of excitement for the new employee. You can give them a warm welcome here, and a welcome feed can also be sent to the employee. Their HR contact information is also given right at the start. So this is going to be very useful for a new employee who comes in and who may have many questions. So they know whom to get in touch with right away. Profile and other forms is the space where we'll now be collecting more detailed information from the employee. So you can even add forms here for some important processes that you want to carry forward. Let's say you'd like to facilitate a training program for the employee. So you can have a training form added here. The documents and policy space is again twofold. So more company policies, let's say an anti-sexual harassment policy, and many more such company policies can be added here, where through which the employee is made aware of various rules and regulations of your organization. So under documents to be accepted, you could have, let's say, a contract letter, and you could choose the applicable roles, let's say contract workers. So they would be able to see these documents and simply accept or decline them. Here again, mail merge templates should have been created beforehand for the employee form, and they will be visible here. Team is another important space, a very exciting one for a new employee. So here they're going to be able to have a glimpse of who is part of their team, have some of the contact information available so that they can get in touch with them right away. The objectives page is another very crucial one for the employee. So from day one, they know their KRAs. KRAs can be added and tagged here. So they are very clear about their goals and that of their teammates, and they can align the two. Moving on, the company information tab is where you can embed more relevant company website URLs or any other links, where you will be giving information to the new employee about the company's culture, values, and many such relevant information. Checklist is again an important one both for the HR as well as the employee, where they can ensure that a list of to-do items are all completed. So now that we've seen the various onboarding tabs that are available here, we'll now have a look at the employees view. So we have a click to preview option right here. So I'm going to click that, and we're going to see the employees experience. So the employee is going to come to the screen and click let's get started. So they are welcomed here. Their contact, HR contact information is right there. And so they would navigate to each of these tabs and complete the necessary information that they need to input there. The team tab will give them a glimpse of their teammates. The objective tab will give them a view of their KRAs or goals. And at the very last stage, once they have completed each of these tabs, these tick marks will automatically be highlighted, and with that, the employee onboarding process is complete. So, as a final step, if we recall earlier, we need to trigger the onboarding process for the employee as well. So, let me show you how to do that. We'll go to settings, go to users under organization, select the users, and click trigger onboarding for this process to be enabled. So to check the status of employee onboarding, let's once again go to reports and go to employee. So here we can have a look at all the employees who are in progress. Click each status for a detailed view. The employees who are onboarded will be visible here. And there is another way through which we can trigger onboarding from the report space itself. You can use the add option here, add the user directly, fill in their basic information, the account details, and click trigger onboarding from this space itself. So now we have seen how to set up employee onboarding process as well. So let's take a look and have a quick recap of what we covered today. So first we had a demo of setting up candidate onboarding, followed by the view of the candidate experience. We then had a demo of setting up employee onboarding, followed by the view of the employee experience. With that, we come to the end of this webinar. If you have any feedback or if you like any aspect or feature of Zoho People, please tweet us at Zoho People with hashtag Zoho People. You can also tap in our knowledge base for more interesting articles. We'll now move on to the question answer session. We'll be open for about 10 minutes or so. You can use the question or chat window to post your questions. Our product expert Annie will be there to answer them right away. Thank you.